that, I will turn it over to any questions that you may have.
Governor Noem.
Sure.
So House Bill 1217 affects all student athletes, not just trans athletes. Do you think it's fair to potentially jeopardize all collegiate athletic activity in the state? And is this not expanding government control?
Well, House Bill 1217 is about women's sports and protecting women's sports. It will ensure that girls participate in girls' sports, and going forward that fairness is there that was promised by Title IX, and what it means to enforcing that in regards to our Constitution as well.
Governor Noem, Kristi Noem,
Sure.
Forum News Service. Just to follow up on that question, what should happen if you are a transgender child, particularly a transgender girl, and you want to play sports?
Well, this bill isn't about transgender. It's about girls' fairness in girls' sports. So girls will be able to play in girls' sports. If a girl chooses to want to play in a boys' sport, that is still going to be allowed. There isn't a definition here in regards to transgender individuals at all. It is about the fairness of Title IX and how it impacts girls' sports.
Governor?
Yes.
Stephen Groves from AP. So last time, South Dakota governor received a bill that affected transgender people. Governor Dugard sat down with transgender people and spoke with them about the bill. Do you plan to do anything similar to that?
You know, we are still examining the bill, getting ready to make decisions on it, and that's like we do with every other bill, and we'll continue to move forward.
So do you have any meetings?
I don't have any plans immediately. I don't think there's been any requests to meet with those individuals, but we certainly are open to listening to everybody.
There's a demonstration planned at your residence today. Will you engage with people who are there in any way?
I'm not planning to. Jonathan?
You're saying that the women's sports bill is not about transgender people, it's about girls' sports, but the bill would restrict trans women from being able to participate on a team that aligns with their gender identity. So are you implying that trans people don't exist?
No, not at all. Yes.
A few questions. What you talked about with 1217 is more generally like section 1, but further on down in the bill, there are some other things that I had questions about. Do you think it's appropriate that kids should have to go to the courts to essentially prove their genitalia just to get reinstated on a sports team?
Well, in South Dakota, in regards to this legislation, it reflects birth certificate.
It has schools collect a written waiver that basically is somebody writes down like what their reproductive biology is, and then the courts would look at that, or schools would keep that on file. Is that the appropriate role of government?
Well, I won't weigh in on what each individual school district may decide and what the court system process would be.
But that's what the bill said, and you said you were excited to sign the bill. Do you think that is the appropriate role of government?
I think in regards to this piece of legislation, we're evaluating that, and we'll move forward based on that evaluation that I put every bill through.
Governor Noem, Austin Goss, now. First off, good morning.
Good morning.
HB 1228, dealing with industrial hemp, passed both the House and the Senate with a veto-proof majority. I was wondering if you intend to veto that law or sign it into law.
That decision hasn't been made yet.
Yes, ma'am.
Governor, one more question.
Sure.
On 1217, have you heard from any businesses or the NCAA at all, or the Summit League, about pulling out any kind of tournaments or activities?
I've heard from individuals, not businesses, and not in particular from the NCAA. Austin?
Yes, ma'am. You know, you talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but obviously with this session, we just had an unprecedented number of dollars available, both from revenue and from, of course, federal stimulus.